Hey guys, welcome to BP, the Bible Perspective. Trump or Bloomberg, which is the lesser of the two evils? And for that matter, why do we have to choose between only evil? Now, before we get into it, please like and share these videos and subscribe to BP, the Bible Perspective. And if you have a comment or a question, feel free to ask it in the comment section. All comments are welcome. Now, in this campaign cycle coming up, many people are weighing in heavily on the campaign. And as I often said, one of the reoccurring themes, at least from the Democratic side, is that Trump has to go at all cost. Now, on the other side, of course, with the Republican side, people would want to have Trump stay at all costs. So in terms of the country, which one would be the better? But oftentimes it's not really come down to whether or not which is in the best of the nation, but the parties. In other words, we're split along party lines. Let's do a quick preview of the two. And the reason why I say the race is coming down to Trump versus Bloomberg, because Bloomberg is fast becoming the number one contender, and basically he's being seen as the number one contender. He's being viewed as the one who could defeat Donald Trump. Now, there are some diehard Democrats who are holding on to the other campaigners, such as Biden, Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg. Those are the front runners. But as time goes on, of course, there's a whole lot more. But as the campaign season progresses further, of course, it's going to whittle down to just a few. Probably, we don't know what's going to happen with Biden because his flame is quickly being extinguished, but he may hang on in there. So we're including him in for now. So you got Biden, Sanders, Warren, and Pete Buttigieg. Now, out of those four, I don't see any one of them that's a strong contender who can go one-on-one with Donald Trump. So who's emerging right now as a strong contender is Mike Bloomberg. He's been flooding the media, social media, all medias with his ads. And it's working because his numbers are coming up. Now, of course, when that happens, as with all, now what's dogging him more is some of his past. The stop and frisk policies he adamantly defended during his mayor term, and even after, is going to dog him. It is the plague now that he has to deal with. And who knows if he can overcome that one sore issue. My guess is probably he can, but it's going to be hard. Now, Trump, on the other hand, and the reason why, let me back up. The reason why Bloomberg is a formidable contender against Trump is because Trump is a billionaire, but Mike Bloomberg is a billionaire many more times over. Not only is a billionaire many more times over, but he also accuses Trump of being a fake billionaire. In other words, Trump basically is a flim-flam man. I don't like Trump, not because, for example, as a Christian, he champions Christian causes. I think those causes are fake. I think he's a fake. In other words, when you stop and you think about what is it that he is supporting. Now, I may do another video on this to explore this point even more further or deeper, and that is this. I'll tell you why he's a fake. And Christians' response to Trump's so-called champion for Christian causes. But what are those causes? Okay, it comes down to basically really two main causes. One, abortion, and then gay rights. Now, there's a couple of other ones, but those are the two. Oftentimes people will say that it was religious freedom that he's standing for. But again, these are fake issues. For example, take the religious freedom. Christians have not taken any kind of freedoms taken away from them. The so-called war on Christmas. There's not one single Christmas season that has passed where a person couldn't say Merry Christmas or hang Christmas trees and lights. Now, where the battle, what I would acknowledge that the battle could be, is that, yeah, you have certain people, humanists and atheists, secularists, okay, that certainly could, if they had their way, it completely eliminate anything that's God. But we're a long ways from there. And certainly, Trump is not doing anything to thwart the fight. By the way, there's no fight in that respect. Now, you may say that you may fight that you can't have a manger scene in a government building lobby or a public square or something like that. Okay, if that's your issue, fine. But the other issue, of course, is abortion and gay rights. Now, gay rights is not as fervent to them as abortion. The reason why is because many Republicans are embracing the homosexual agenda, or at least from a standpoint of accepting it. But abortion, of course, remains their champion, the number one cause. So here's my point here. Trump got into office on the Christian platform, on the conservative platform. Why didn't he then champion for God and Christians? He had control of both houses. Why wasn't there a bill put forth? Okay? It would have passed through the Congress, and then it would have passed through the Senate. Trump would have signed it into law. Why didn't that happen? Now, I admit it's more complicated than that. But my point is, for the first 2 years, he had within his grips everything he needed to at least try. And my point is, why didn't they even try? Why didn't they even put forth the bill during that time? Why didn't some champion for God's cause come up and says, we're going to put forth this bill at least? They didn't even make an attempt. Same thing, of course, with Trump's wall, which now is one of its greatest failures because he's taking money from the military to try to build the wall. And of course, he's counting on his Christian supporters to be so stupid that that's what they're going to accept as an accomplishment. Even if he builds the wall under those terms, now get this, if he builds the wall under those terms, takes money from here, he compels the American people to pay for the wall, it's a failure since he said the American people would not have to spend a dime, that he would make Mexico pay for the wall. Now, Bloomberg, on the other hand, is an accomplished businessman, of course. In fact, he, of course, would boast against Trump. He's a real billionaire, that he's accomplished business, ran businesses. He does have more merit. No bankruptcy that we can see. He doesn't have any, he certainly had run successful business. Trump has had many failures in business over the term. He has frauded people. In fact, remember during the 2016 campaign, he settled with this fraudulent Trump University, $25 million. Now the $25 million, by the way, was just a drop in the bucket. It really should have been higher, but he settled for $25 million. People who invested in Trump U, they failed. And even now, think about this. Just last year in 2019, remember, he admitted to cheating his own veterans charity, which he had to repay them $2 million. Now, he admitted to that. That's fraud, people. I'm not going to get into the Stormy Daniels and the porn stars and all that kind of debacle. The point is that with Christians who say that they are standing for Trump, and as I said before, even if you want to say what is the cause that he's standing for, he's not even championing that. So the bigger question will be, what will Bloomberg do? Now, let's assuming that Bloomberg can overcome this hurdle, that he can overcome this hurdle of the stop and frisk. I'm going to tell you something about the stop and frisk. It is more than just hurt feelings. He defended. Now, he didn't start stop and frisk, but he adamantly defended. He even withheld, he fought against the settlement. The only reason why the settlement was paid out, for example, to the Central Park Five, that was another case where he defended the case, where the 5 boys were railroaded, and it was later found they were innocent. DNA proved that they were innocent. No, he says, no, they're still guilty. Bigger problem, too, is that tapes are coming out in terms of what Bloomberg has felt about African Americans. In other words, how he sees African Americans, that they are criminals, that they're guilty. Okay? That's a lot to come. Now, assuming he can overcome that, will he be good for the country? Will he be a good Democratic contender or even president? I mean, really, these are the questions we should be asking beyond the fact of stop and frisk. We should be asking these questions too. What is his policy? What will he do for social program? See, I think basically what I see Bloomberg is that he's rich. I think he's always going to side on the side of money. So, regardless how we look at Trump, here's my personal opinion. I think Bloomberg is way better than Trump. I think Trump is a fool. I think he's bad for the country. I think just as the book of Proverbs tells us that when you put things in the hands of a fool, that's only going to be disastrous. Look at what Trump is even doing right now. Not even days after his acquittal, he's already being vengeful. Now you think, hey, I have work to do. After all, he did say that. He did say, hey, guess what? We're wasting time on all of this impeachment stuff. I got work to do. So what does he do after the acquittal? He's going after, in a vengeful way, people who testified, prosecutors, people who even told the truth, okay? Now, my point is that, why? And then look at some of the other deals that he's doing. For example, hey, have we forgot about North Korea? They've never given up their nukes, right? He's supposed to be such a great person, negotiate on that, all right? Let's not even forget Putin, how he cowers down to Putin. It's Putin right now, as Russia, they're saying that they are meddling in our elections right now. So here's a problem that I want to sit back and say. Now, again, I think we need to always just keep in mind, I think Trump is worse as a person. I think of Trump, I can think of several bad characters I can compare him with in Scripture. Esau, Saul, Ahab, the kind of character that, you know what, if we didn't have the Constitution, how bad could be. Trump is an example of that. But now, we won't know, of course, with Bloomberg until he's actually in office. And I think his point is that, okay, at the point of now, he's attempting to move on from stop and frisk. He's acknowledged his wrong. And yes, I think he needs to say a lot more, needs to address a lot more. But I also think you need to start listening to what this man is offering, because I think it's going to come down to it. If I had to make a prediction right now, I would say he's going to emerge as the #1 Democratic contender. And I think right now, as it stands, that he can beat Trump. That's my perspective. Guys, I'll see you next time.